Welcome to Conversando a Fondo. I am Tony Leal. Today we're delving into the realm of veterinary technology careers. This exciting program opens doors to a fulfilling career centered around your love for animals. Additionally, I had the opportunity to explore the Miami-Dade County Animal Services Department. Beyond facilitating adoptions, this governmental body plays a crucial role in supporting the welfare of the entire pet population across the county. But first, do you love animals? Are pets your passion? Do you long to make a difference? Well, Miami-Dade College offers the ideal pathway for you with its Veterinary Technology Associate in Science degree. This affordable program equips you to sit for the Veterinary Technician National Exam, paving the way to become a certified veterinary technician. Upon graduation, you possess the skills to conduct a diverse range of medical tests and procedures across various clinical settings, spanning from small to large animals, as well as exotic and laboratory animals. And to delve deeper into this exciting career path, we have the pleasure of being joined by Professor Karen Moss, a certified veterinary technician and program coordinator at Miami-Dade College Medical Campus. Welcome.
Hello, how are you today?
Good. Thank you for joining me here at this show, Conversando a Fondo.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's an honor to have you here. So let's talk about the Associate of Science degree in Veterinary Technology. What is it?
So it is a degree that prepares you to work alongside a veterinarian in multiple capacities. You always have to work under a licensed veterinarian, but there's different areas that you can work in. You can work in, most of our graduates work in a small animal veterinary hospital, but there's other opportunities to work in other areas. Like you could work for the USDA, you can work in research. There's a high demand for veterinary technicians in research. There's also large animal and small animal. By large animal, I mean like horses and cows and goats and things like that. And whereas small animals, when I say small animals, I'm always talking about dog and cats. And there's also avian. Then we have exotics, which would include like snakes and ferrets and things like that. So, but the degree prepares you to work alongside the veterinarian, providing medical assistance, medical care for, I'm going to call them the four-legged variety, as opposed to the two.
Yeah, no, I don't like snakes, so that's one thing I will. If I try to study this, I will now be able to be working with the snakes.
Yeah, I understand. They're not my favorite either.
But being Miami-Dade College, do you offer nights and weekend classes?
That's a good question. We are a full-time program, but a majority of our classes are during the day, or they may extend to early evening for our lab classes. So what we try to do is our lecture classes, which everybody has to take all at one time. And then we have lab classes that we have a limited number of students in per class, and we put them either before or after the lecture class. So some of our lecture classes will extend into early evening, generally never past like 7 or 7:30.
Yeah. What about online classes? Do you offer online classes?
We do not offer any online classes. Our accreditation body requires that all the Miami-Dade instructors actually see you perform certain skills. So doing it online, it really prohibits us from that capacity. And plus you have to work with the animals. So if the skill involved a horse, we have to have the horse available. So all of our courses are going to be in person on campus.
What is the duration of the program, being an associate degree?
The duration is 6 consecutive semesters, so it's 2 years. So you start in the fall, you go all through the fall, spring, and summer, and then you start again in the fall, and you go fall, spring, and summer. Yes. So 6 consecutive semesters, 2-year program.
So they get to graduate with everybody here at Miami-Dade College?
Yes.
What are the general education courses students must take to complete this program?
Okay, so Our prerequisites are pretty basics. It's just English 1101, biology 1005, and biology 1005L. And then our gen ed courses, humanities
Yeah, don't worry.
1020, math MGF 1130, and then you have to take a social science, and it can be either American history or American federal government. And then on top of that, you have to take a computer course, but you can comp out of that. So you can take a competency test for that. So you don't have to take that course if you're able to do that. Um, so regarding it and being admitted into the program, we do accept students that have all their gen ed courses finished prior to
Hmm.
entering the program. So I would say get them all done if you really want to come into the program, because if I have 30 people with them all done and you've only done the prerequisites, the 30 people that have the gen ed courses completed are going to get in the program.
Yeah, that was my question because obviously in some degrees they can do it at the same time they're taking already some of the classes, but it's
Right,
better to
right.
just get out of the way and
Just get it out of the way because, our courses are here only on the medical campus, and we found it difficult for people that were taking some of the gen ed courses because they would either have to go to one of the other Miami-Dade campuses because we don't offer them here
yeah.
on this campus. And our courses are pretty demanding, so sometimes the students
Hmm.
would be overwhelmed just by taking the veterinary technology courses and then on top of that having to take the gen ed courses. So we found it just better to get those out of the way and come into the program ready to just take the veterinary technology program
Yeah,
courses.
and that's good because Miami-Dade College obviously has other campuses. Like I'm here at North Campus. You have
Right.
Kendall, you have West, even Padron Campus, and even all the way to Homestead. So that's good that at least they can study those prerequisites before they enter the program because obviously getting to the medical campus sometimes can be very
Challenging.
overwhelming. Yeah, it's a
Yes.
big.
So that's a good point because what I recommend if you're coming from high school, that once you graduate from high school, you would go to whatever campus is closest to your home, sign up and take all the prerequisites and gen ed courses, and then and you can get all those done in probably two semesters. We don't recommend that you just take one class per semester because then when reality hits you when you come to Miami,
Yeah.
the medical campus, and you're taking 4 or 5 classes, you're just not used to the study load that's required. So we like to see students take all their courses, be as a full load, so they're used to the study habits that are necessary to be successful when you're taking a full load of
Yeah,
classes.
and I forgot to say that being there, the medical campus in the civic area, there's a stop for the metro rail. So those people that instead of driving all the way over there and getting to the heavy traffic, they just can take the Miami-Dade transit to the
Yes,
metro
and,
rail to
and we have a
civic.
shuttle that will take students back and forth to the metro rail. So yeah, there's lots of benefits in
Yeah,
that.
I didn't know about that, so I'm glad that you brought it to the
Mhm.
attention of us
And,
of the
and a lot of
viewers.
students will go as groups. They'll walk, they all become friends. So they walk back and forth to the the metro rail and things
Yeah,
like that. So
and it's
it's
a
a
good
it's a nice thing to have.
exercise.
Yes, good exercise.
Good
Yes.
exercise. Why you think that the students should come here to Miami-Dade to study this track?
So that's a good question. So why choose Miami-Dade as opposed to another vet tech program? One, there's not very many vet tech programs in the state of Florida that are accredited. So we're accredited by the American Veterinary Medical Association. By I mean by that is that the American Veterinary Medical Association basically mandates what we have to teach. Okay. What animals we have to work with, what skills we have to do. So, one, we're accredited by the American Veterinary Medical Association. And because of that, our students that graduate can take the national exam, which is the veterinary technician national exam. There is no state exam at this time. It's just the national exam. And also, because there's limited schools in the state of Florida, I believe there's like five. To go to any other school, they would have to either go to like in the Tampa area or the Panhandle, or another option is the Cocoa Beach area. So we're really the closest. We do have a lot of students that come down from Broward. A couple of students actually live in Palm Beach.
Wow.
Yeah, and they what they do is they take the train
Yeah.
and they get on the Metro Rail. One of the things about the Broward people, it takes about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours for them to get here, and they just sit on the train and study. And what I was saying, that's a benefit because sometimes I live south, and it could take me usually an hour and a half to get here. And so at least they can study while they're doing it. Whereas, people coming in their cars, it can be you're just listening to the radio, I guess.
Yeah, you're not able.
That's the same with taking the Metro Rail from down south or wherever you live. At least you can, the half hour, 45 minutes it might take you to get here, you can use that time to review
study.
notes and things like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's beneficial in that sense.
Yeah, that's the thing that, driving to the campus, you're not going to be able to study. Although
Right.
I've seen people putting makeup, so.
I bet.
and many other things like, texting and everything
Right.
else. Who do you think is going to be a great candidate for the program?
That's a good question because I think there are a lot of people that really don't understand what veterinary technicians do. Sometimes we're called veterinary nurses also. Um, so in the simplest form way, it's people that work with animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one, you would have to like animals, as I said. Two, if you're going to work in a small animal practice, especially, which I would say 95 or 98% of our graduates do, you have to like people also. On At the end of every leash is a person,
Yeah.
and so we have to learn good people skills besides learning animal skills. So you have to like people and animals. So if you say, oh, I just want to work with animals because you don't necessarily like working with people, this might not be the profession for you because they really do sort of mandate what we can do and things like that. So yeah, and the other thing is we have other, programs here at medical campus, like respiratory therapy, physical assistant, physical therapy assistant, PA, and things like that. But they work with just one species, which is humans,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But in the veterinary world, and we have to do this, we have to learn dogs, cats. We also learn horses, cows, goats, pigs. We learn birds, snakes, ferrets. So we have a wide variety of things that we are learning. And the other thing is that, and again, I don't think many people realize this, is that veterinary technicians do everything. Where in the human world, if you go to the doctor and you have to take a radiograph or an X-ray,
Yeah.
they send you to a different department, right?
Yeah,
To take
yeah.
the X-ray. Here, the doctor says, I want an X-ray. It's the person that's working in the room, the
Yeah.
veterinary technician, or the veterinary nurse that's in the back that takes the X-ray. If the doctor wants blood work, they don't send it out to the lab. A lot of times it's the veterinary technician that does the blood work. Or a lot of people don't realize this is that veterinary technicians actually anesthetize the patient, meaning they intubate them, they prep them, put the IV catheters, shave them and everything, and get them ready for surgery. And then while they're in surgery, the doctors are obviously performing the surgery. The technician is monitoring the animal under anesthesia. And then if I could add one more skill is that when you get your teeth cleaned, you have to go to the dental hygienist does it, right?
Yes.
They have a school here for dental hygiene, but we have to do dentals here. So we have to learn all the health professions sort of rolled up in one. Maybe not as in depth as you would get from a 2-year degree that's focusing just on that particular skill, but we learn about all of those things. So in some ways, you'll never get bored because you're always going to
Yeah.
be doing different things. The other way, it can be really academically challenging because you're learning all parts of the health profession. So Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, one of the things that makes being a veterinary technician um, interesting. Now, there is a movement within the veterinary world that you can specialize in area, like you can specialize in dentistry. If that's your thing and that's all you want to do, you can go and work for a veterinary dentist. You could go and work for just an orthopedic surgeon, or you could go and work for a neurologist, a veterinary neurologist. So a lot of people don't realize that they're, because dogs and cats are being seen more and more as part members of the family, and
Yeah,
people will do anything for their family member when they're not feeling well, right?
yeah.
So we have all these specialties that have cropped up, and they need nurses that specialize in internal medicine, neurology, orthopedic medicine, things like that. So in that sense, it's a really exciting time for anybody getting in the profession.
Yeah, I know. You say something there that the animals become part of the family, and a few years ago, I got two dogs, and my wife that never liked dogs because she got bitten when she was a child, all of a sudden became enamored with the two dogs, and actually they follow her all the time. Wherever she, I'm the one who brought them.
Right,
And I
right.
tell the dogs, you ungrateful dogs, because I brought you here, and now the only thing you do is follow my wife. So they do become part of your family, because
Yeah,
sometimes
they do.
we
They
talk
do.
about the 15-year commitment, and when you think that they're gonna die, it's horrible the way we feel. As
Right. Unfortunately, they don't live as long as we do because their metabolic rate is much, much faster. And there's scales out there that say like a 1-year-old dog is actually like a 7-year-old child, but it's not always 7 years for, like, my dog is 12.
Wow,
So, um, technically she's more like a 65-year-old.
wow, yeah.
So, and that kind of thing.
So I'm going to take a break because the time on this segment is ended, but we're going to come back with you again in the next segment. We're taking our first break, but before we do, if you're seeking further details about the Veterinary Technology Associate in Science degree, please visit MDC.EDU/veterinary technology, or email Professor Moss at kmoss@mdc.edu. When we return, we'll dive deeper into the Associate of Science degree in Veterinary Technology with Professor Karen Moss. Stay tuned.
Aprende y gana hoy en Miami-Dade College. Los graduados universitarios ganan 56% más que los de secundaria y 1 millón más en ingresos vitalicios. Un título del MDC es tu camino a más poder adquisitivo y éxitos profesionales. Elige entre cientos de programas asequibles de alta tecnología y en demanda como ciberseguridad, inteligencia artificial, negocios y enfermería. Aprende y gana hoy en MDC. Impulsa tu carrera. Matricúlate ya en mdc.edu/purpose.
Welcome back. I'm still joined by Professor Karen Moss from Miami-Dade College Medical Campus. So the first segment was very lively because, we talked about so many things, but there's other areas that we need to cover, especially the cost of the program. So I heard years ago, Dr. Ferrer, who used to be the campus president, that he was talking about he was getting a massage, and he asked the masseuse about how much that he pay or she pay, I don't know who it was, for the program. She told him the amount, and he said, you could have done that cheaper at Miami-Dade College. So what is the fees here at Miami-Dade College for this career?
So I think the fees are excellent. The whole 2 years that you're in program, it will be approximately $10,000 if I round up, okay? And that includes tuition, books, uniforms. We do require that students be vaccinated for rabies prior to coming into the program, and that's a bit of an investment. So that's like about $1,100 before you even start the program. It's a series of 2 vaccines. But all that to say, everything, tuition, books, that vaccine, uniforms would be approximately $10,000.
Yeah, don't talk to me about rabies shots because I had to go and to the emergency room because I found a kitten in my house and I tried to feed him or her, I don't know what it was,
and
she bit me.
Oh,
So
no.
I had to go to, and it was the first day were like, I don't know, like 10, 18 shots that they gave me all over my body. And I don't want to go through that anymore. And then 3 consecutive Saturdays that I had to go again and get more shots. So,
so the reason we make students get that vaccine, the prophylactic vaccine, before they come into the program, because they will be working with animals that are not vaccinated.
Yeah.
So this covers, so if they got bit by a dog or a cat that didn't have a rabies vaccine, you don't really have to worry about it.
And how long does the rabies vaccine last?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, the CDC at this point requires that the person get a series of 2 vaccines. It's just 7 days apart. So like you got it on Friday, you have to get it the next Friday. So, and then they recommend that after 1 year, you either get a 3rd vaccine or you can get a titer to check to see if your antibody levels are at fighting strength if you got bit. So,
and I know that a lot of people are going to be tired of getting vaccination,
Right. Yeah.
But in this case, it's needed.
It definitely is an investment. Unfortunately, it is a lot of money. But in my mind, if you get that vaccine, you have to be serious about what you're going to be wanting to do.
And you have to do it. It's like a driver needs a driver license to be able to drive. A chef needs his tools to be able to cook.
Exactly.
So this is the thing that the students, because in other programs like the culinary, they need to buy their equipment, and that's something they don't know, So like in this case, is the vaccination. Are there only
same with the dental hygienists? They have to buy all their tools up front.
Oh wow!
Somebody told me that's like $3,000 or $4,000 for them up front, just to buy their tools.
And the thing is, like, we're not the only ones, because any school that you go to, they're going to be asking for the same stuff. Like at one point I studied architecture, and I had to buy all the T-squares, the pencils, and all that stuff. And yes, it's a lot of money. Are there any additional fees in the program?
Well, besides tuition, there's the books, of course.
Yeah.
But then there's some of the courses like have lab fees, and generally they're about $75, maybe $100. And then we have the uniform, which is it has to be a specific color with our logo on it, and they can purchase that here at the bookstore. And for a pair of scrub top and a pair of scrub pants, it is about $50. So I think most students get like 2 or 3 pairs. If they're on campus, they're in class, or if they go to clinic, they have to be in their program scrubs. So yeah, they'll have to get that. But one good thing that the college does provide, so like when we go to work on large animals, a lot of times we have to pay a fee for working on horses and things like that. But the college covers all of that. So it's just the minimal costs of being in a program, going to college, the fees that you have to pay. So again, all those fees together, it's going to be around $10,000.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you touched on that because of the animals. Obviously, you have a new lab, and we're going to talk about that. But before we go to that, how do you find a horse, to be able to work with? Yeah,
it is becoming, I'm not going to lie, it is becoming challenging because we live in a metropolitan area, right?
Yeah.
So, down in the Homestead Redland area, there's still people that have horses and cattle. There's it's called the South Florida SPCA, where they rescue horses and cattle and goats and sheep, and they rehabilitate them and they find them forever homes. So if they get goats and they need to vaccinate, they'll call us and say, "Can you bring your students down to vaccinate goats for us?" So we help our community, but we also help the students get
Yeah.
practice working with. And I must admit, the students love those
No,
field trips. I'm going to call
of
them field
course. I
trips.
mean, it's like
Yeah,
firsthand, you're there and working on a horse already, or a
yeah.
goat or whatever it is.
And
And
sometimes we have to go to Broward too. So like our equine skills, we go to Barbie Ranch, which is a riding ranch.
okay,
And they rent the horses out to people that want to ride with, in the park. But the owner of the ranch, he has like about 50 horses. He works with our students. We go over equine behavior, and because you got to know what you're doing when you're walking around a horse,
yeah, I
right?
know. Don't be on the back.
They can get easily spooked, and so you want to act appropriately around them. So he goes through that, and then the students with a couple of instructors, they walk them, they groom them, they pull blood from them, they give them some injections. Yeah, and it is the students love it. Like I said, it's a good field trip.
Yeah, no. I mean, even me that I don't. I mean, I love the career, but I'm not good with science. That's why I don't study anything related into health. But
Yeah.
to me, it will be a great thing to do because you're going to be able to work already with some of the animals that you're learning about. So, and that takes you.
And you make a great point. You said about this profession in general, or science and math is if got to be somewhat decent in science and math in order to get through the program.
I'm good in I'm good in math, but like I said, when I was studying architecture, when I got to the calculus,
Oh, yeah,
when I
yeah.
got to calculus, I said, "This is enough. I'm gonna study."
lots of physics
And I'm very
too,
good
yeah.
at adding time, because time is added differently. So I'm good at
Right.
math, but I didn't want to keep going on that. So we were going to talk now about the lab, and you have a brand new lab.
One of my favorite subjects. So the college in the last, well, we officially opened this past fall in 2023. They built us a brand new lab. It's actually two separate rooms. One room, we have a lab where we teach hematology and some of the other lab work. And then we have within that area, we have two exam rooms, we have a reception area, we have a waiting room. And then across the hall, we have what I call the surgery suite, surgery radiology suite. So we actually have a surgical room dedicated just to surgery. Then we have a room that has all of our x-ray equipment where we take radiographs. And then a bigger room that is connected to, I call it the treatment area or prep area, that we prepare the animals for surgery or treatments, things like that. So that's all brand new. And it really is state of the art. We have all the newer equipment. It's just really nice because previously, sometimes for performing surgeries, we had to go to an animal
Yeah,
hospital
yeah,
because it has to be done in a surgical suite.
yeah.
So now we can do the surgeries here on campus. And the spring term is the term that we do surgeries, and pretty much the whole semester long, our surgery suite has been booked. But the doctor just performs spays and neuters. We're not going to do anything, exploratories or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's just basic surgeries. The students are involved in the actual surgery. As a veterinary technician, we can't perform surgery, but we can help the doctor while they're performing the surgery by, you gown and glove up, and you might pass gauze, cut suture for them. And of course, then you have somebody else in the surgical suite monitoring the animal while they're under anesthesia.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to have that capability.
No, and that's good because that's the thing about Miami-Dade College. They always try to bring the technology or like you say, the lab space to the campus. Like this studio, this is a classroom. This is a million something dollars that they spend to have all new equipment. So once they get out of here, they can already work at one of the TV stations here in Miami or any other place in the country. So that's a good thing about that because you already know the setup, you already know, how to work around a surgery, like you said. So that's very good. Which it takes me now to the internship. So do you offer internships?
We do. So the last year, their second year that they're in the program, In the fall term, they start working at veterinary hospitals. By working, I mean internships. They're unpaid.
Yeah.
So the program has, I'm going to call them contracts or memorandums of understanding
Hmm.
with certain veterinary hospitals that allow us to send students to those hospitals. And they go there and they practice basically what they've learned the first year. Um, so they're there 1 day a week for 8 hours, from 8 to 5, and they work alongside other veterinary technicians that have
Yeah.
graduated from either Miami-Dade or some other state that might have a vet tech program. They're certified, and then they work along with the veterinarian. So they get to practice what they're actually learning in class.
Yeah, no, and that's very important because I did my internship when I was going to school for TV, and I was so excited even though they didn't pay me because you're there, you're seeing everything that's going on, and now you see like real life how everything is working, and from the
Right.
internship, which is my next question, I got a job for my internship. I got a job there at the network. So what are the job opportunities for this career?
Well, they're outstanding, actually. I can't tell you how many emails I get asking for students, um, either graduates or even sometimes they will take students, to work on the weekends or something like that. So I would say that if you want to work, when you graduate from this program, employment is 100%. Um, and oftentimes the students will, just like Mr. Leal here, he got his job from working at an internship. A lot of our
Hmm.
students are hired by the facilities that they attend to. And, um, at one point there was a vet tech school in Hollywood. Unfortunately, it closed. It was a proprietary school, meaning that it costs a lot more money to go, like
Yeah.
$35,000 to graduate.
Wow.
But um, not to brag, but like I said, it was always nice to hear that they could tell the difference between our Miami-Dade students and their students. So our students our program has a good reputation amongst the veterinary hospitals here
Oh,
also.
that's very
And
good.
then, like I said earlier, there are other opportunities that you could work for the USDA. There's we have a big port here where animals are imported and things like that. Mind you, those jobs are not, there's not like 50 places that you can do that. So they only hire a couple of technicians. But if that is something you're really interested in, that's an opportunity. And of course, you could move someplace else in the state. That's an opportunity. And then we have research centers here. A lot of people
Yeah.
that get in the veterinary world, that's probably the last thing that they're thinking of is to work in research. But it can be a really rewarding career, especially if you have the heart to enrich those animals' lives.
Yeah.
So that's a major job of the veterinary technicians, lab animal technicians, is enrichment for those, whether it's rabbits, mice, rats, dogs, that might be working in research at that time.
Yeah, and I have a few seconds to go, but I heard that the campus is going to open a clinic now because they already have a clinic for health, the dental, and,
Right.
and there's another one too. Oh, up for glasses. But now they're going to open a clinic for pets.
That's correct. So it will probably be in full swing in the fall. It will be 2 days a month where we will offer vaccinations. And as of this moment, everything will be free.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's a really benefit to the community and to Miami-Dade employees or anybody that wants to make it out here. We will do vaccines, all the vaccines, what we'll call the core vaccines for a dog and a cat. And we also do fecal exams to make sure they don't have any intestinal parasites. And we also, if it's a dog, we will check for heartworms, which is another major parasite transmitted by mosquitoes. And we have lots of mosquitoes down here, so it's a test that we have to run. I guess the first weekend in March, we had a health fair here.
Okay.
And that was the first time our vet clinic was open.
Oh,
And the health clinic was supposed to be from 9 to 9 to 1. We were there till 4 because
Wow.
we had such a demand.
Yeah, no,
And all the people showed up. So it was a great day. I think everybody was thrilled that we were able to use our new facility, and then we got to help the animals in the community and help the people with their four-legged furry family members.
yeah,
So it was a great day.
and that
And
is
so we're looking
free.
forward to having that open full time. Well, I say full time, twice a month, starting in the fall.
Yeah, and the best part is that it's free at the beginning. I'm sure
Yes.
that later on, because the other clinics, they do charge. But
Yeah,
obviously,
minimally. They
yeah.
charge minimally. So, but right now ours will be for free.
Yeah. So my last question, because I'm almost done with time. Are some of the students going to be able to work in the clinic?
Yes, and actually, the clinic, the days that we're open is associated with the class. So the students will be basically running the clinic alongside with the veterinarian, of course. But they will be handling the animals. They'll be working the front desk. They'll be working the exam rooms, running the tests that we run. So yes, it's imperative that the students be involved, and yeah, it's a good opportunity. I didn't mention this before, but we do some community work outside of Miami-Dade.
Mm-hmm.
Camilla's House, through the Dade Veterinary Foundation, offers a free vaccine clinic for the under-resourced on the third Sunday of every month. And our students actually work that clinic and have, so they do the physical exams, they give the vaccines, they work alongside a veterinarian, they get to practice their physical exam skills. So it's a great opportunity for them to work in the environment, but also help the community at the same time. And it will basically be very similar to what we're doing in our vet lab here on the medical campus.
Yeah, and it's very important that while they're studying, they're getting the experience, because that's, I think, the reason why I never followed with the architecture, because I was working in a bank and I was going to school. So, I didn't have the experience to be able to work there. But with television, I did my internship, and I was able to get a job, like I had said before. But
Right.
it's good that, that you're offering this. To me, it sounds like a great career, but the science and now the snakes, forget it. I'm not going to do it. All right. So, Professor Moss, thank you so much for being here today, and I wish you the best. And I will send the students to you. So hopefully you get more.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for allowing me to talk about my favorite thing, veterinary medicine.
Yeah, thank you. We're taking another brief break, but before we do, if you're seeking further details about the Veterinary Technology Associate in Science degree, please visit MDC.EDU/veterinary technology or email Professor Moss at kmoss@mdc.edu. When we come back, I'll take you on a tour of Miami-Dade County Animal Services. It's a visit you don't want to miss. Stay tuned.
En Miami-Dade College hay carreras en cualquier profesión. ¿Cuál es tu sueño? Somos cada vez más globales. Del laboratorio a la realidad virtual, donde nada es imposible. Proteger nuestra comunidad. Puedes ser lo que quieras ser. En Miami-Dade College, todos tus sueños se harán realidad.
Welcome back. Miami-Dade County is renowned for its pet adoption services and the distribution of pet licenses and tags. However, this governmental body has a far broader purpose. As stated on their website, their mission is to save the lives of abandoned animals in their care, protect animals from cruelty, reunite lost pets with their owners, protect people and pets in our community from health-related issues, and ensure the public safety. To dig deeper into the realm of animal services, I recently had the opportunity to visit their facilities. During my visit, I had the pleasure of speaking with Annette Jose, Director of Miami-Dade County Animal Services. Hola, Ney, ¿cómo estás?
Hola.
So we're going to do the interview in English because I know your Spanish is not as good as mine. So, you know, and my English is not very good either. So
Then together we should be fine.
I know. So I'm here at Animal Services. What is it the main stuff that you guys do here?
Well, we are the resource for the community when it comes to pets. And that's what we want to be known for. We're an adoption center, first of all, but we also have many programs that can help the community and can help pets in our community.
And from those services that you offer besides adoption, I know that you also do like vaccination.
Yeah, so we have a wellness clinic that provides low-cost wellness, including vaccination, microchips, spay and neuter services. We also have many free spay-neuter services throughout the year. We're trying to increase the number of spay and neuter services throughout the community in order to address the overpopulation crisis that's going on right now nationally.
Yeah, and that's one question I was going to ask you about the spay and neuter. First of all, I know the spay is one for the female girls, yes, and then neuters for the boys.
Yes.
Okay. And you said, you know, it's because obviously you want to control the pet population here in the county.
Right.
So besides that, there's other reasons that people may like to.
There's a lot of health benefits. In order, after you get the surgery for your pet, you're going to notice that they calm down, that the boys start storming out of the house every time you open the door because.
Mine's not like that.
They are, well, we should get them neutered then.
No, he's neutered, but...
he's neutered, so he still likes to go socialize with the neighborhood.
Yeah, not only that, he leaves his marks everywhere.
Well, most cases that helps, and there's also health benefits as far as decreases in cancer. So your pet will live longer if you have them spayed or neutered. So also, when you come in and get your pet spayed or neutered, we'll also microchip them. So your dog that keeps running out, he'll have a microchip in case you can't find him. If he ends up here at the shelter, it's easy for us to identify his owner and reunite them with their family. So that's another good reason to come to the shelter and get services here or at any veterinary practice in the community.
Yeah, and you also, like you said, you have lower price for some people in the community, but you also have like a vet clinic that goes from place to place?
Yes, because we know that not everyone has access to veterinary care, we want to go into the community and provide that. So we have a mobile unit. It was donated by FOMA, one of our partners, and we've continued to use it. Right now we're located in the south at South Dade Government Center, and there you can go and get vaccines, a wellness check for your pet. If they have heartworms, they let you know so that you can seek treatment at your veterinary practice. So we're out there trying to educate the community of how important it is to provide your pet with regular medical care.
Yeah, and one thing I've seen here since I lived in Miami is that I barely see any dogs walking around. So I guess either you receive a call from the residents.
Yeah, so we are fortunate that Miami-Dade County has animal services. We have an enforcement team that if you call 311 because there's a stray in your neighborhood, then 311 will respond. But now, due to the overpopulation crisis, we're asking people, if you see a stray in the neighborhood, take the time to walk around and see if that pet belongs to someone in the neighborhood. Because most likely, the pet has just wandered off and is only a few blocks from home. If you bring them all the way to the shelter here at Doral, the chances of them getting reunited are much less because people don't always think of coming all the way to the shelter. Another thing is if you're all the way down in the Redlands or in Homestead, that situation is very different. They are experiencing pets walking around. And it's because of the rural community, the farming community. So we need to educate them to please get your pets spayed and neutered, even if they do live on a big farm and they're just, used to being outside. That's even more important to have them spayed or neutered because they're the ones that are having the puppies. And then we have all these puppies in the community and it ends up being here at our shelter where we feel that overpopulation.
Yeah, and also another thing is like when they go, do they have the radar or whatever it is to
They do.
for the microchip?
They carry the scanner, and
Okay.
also your local police station also has scanners.
Oh,
A lot
okay.
of them. So if you find a dog, leash them, take them to your local police station and see if they can scan for a microchip, or any veterinary practice also has them. They can scan and identify the owner that way.
Yeah, and on the adoption, sometimes you guys will go and give free adoption, so you waive all the money that you had to pay.
Yeah.
One of the reasons of that is just to what?
Well, we need help. Our population here at the shelter got up to 813 dogs in the fall, around October, November. And so in order to really encourage the community to come and adopt from us, we try to make it as simple as possible, including waiving fees or helping with food, giving goodie bags, anything we can to get you to come and please adopt a shelter pet.
Yeah, but also it's something that I've seen for you guys, or I don't know if another institution where you say, you know, adoption is a commitment of 15 years, and people think, oh, I'm gonna have a dog and that's it, you know. I have dogs and you have to be on top of them like little babies. We talked about that before
really
the
is.
interview.
Yeah, you have to wake up early to take them out for a walk. It's a commitment. We try to teach people about responsible pet ownership, meaning that yes, you're going to take your pet for its wellness checkups. You're going to get the microchip. You're going to keep them on a leash whenever you're in public, and you're going to commit to that pet for the rest of its life.
Yeah, that's very important, because I've seen like videos, I told you, I see some of the videos on Instagram or Facebook where people leave the dogs outside, they drop them off in a park, and then they get depressed. The people don't understand that the dogs can get depressed.
Of course, that's their family. That's their home, that's their family, and when they're removed, just like when we're removed from our family, they suffer.
Yeah, and have you seen any like success stories from pets that were left at the shelter? Because I know you also receive pets, no?
Yes, of course. If the community comes in because a pet was found, it's injured, we're going to take that pet in. If somebody's
Can no longer take care of the pet?
Can no longer take care of the pet, or if they're having to move and the new apartment doesn't allow them, then we're going to help you through that situation. Hopefully we help you rehome the pet before it has to come into the shelter. But of course, there's beautiful stories that happen here every day. We adopt over 100 dogs on a weekly basis.
Wow.
And every one of those stories is a happy story, because the dog is now going to a forever home.
Yeah, no, it's very important to have dogs, and you know, the psychology behind it, because they help you, you know,
Right.
Especially with kids with needs.
That's right.
It's very important too. So also elderly people, because their pets, you know, like my niece, she had her dog was trained to go to different places, and you know, especially to elderly homes, to help those people, you know, feel the dog, and they feel happier for that moment.
That's right. It will definitely, their studies show that your mood will improve. Your weight is going to improve too, because you're out walking the dog, right? So you're going to get exercise. Your mood is going to improve. Not you personally, but everybody gets to benefit from having a dog. But I don't want to forget the pets, the cats. You mentioned the seniors.
Oh, that's true. I forgot the cats.
So cats are great pets for seniors because they don't require that much activity. They'll sit on your lap. They're a good companion for those of you that don't want to have to get up and walk the dog a few times a day. But they do, if they come and sleep on you and purr while they're at it, then it helps you calm down. It really does have an effect on your anxiety and your mood.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, but some people like me are allergic to cats, so we have to go with the dog.
So that's why we have over 600 dogs at the shelter for people like you. And for those of you that are not ready to commit, we have our foster program. So that's a great way that you can test out if you're ready to commit for the long-term adoption commitment. So our foster program, you come in, you pick out a dog, you take it home, and you see if you guys are a good match.
Yeah. I know, I'm glad that you brought that point into the conversation, because not everybody knows that you can do foster here. So what do they need to be able to be a foster parent?
a driver's license and a loving heart, and just say yes, that you're willing to take a pet home. And we also provide pet retention services, meaning that if we do see a dog walking in the community, if our enforcement officer goes and then reunites them with the family and they say, oh, well, he keeps coming out of my backyard, we'll help them with an enclosure, we'll teach them how to properly secure gates. So we'll provide resources for that family to be able to keep that pet secure in their home.
So I kind of have like a sad story. My mom had a pet and the pet died. She had a dog, and so I came to Animal Service, and the Animal Services was able to provide another service that the community probably don't know.
Right, so disposal of your pet after it passes away is another service. We want to be your resource from the moment that you get that pet, hopefully through adoption, all the way to the end of the life of the pet. And we're here for you every step of the way.
That's good. And volunteers, because I know you need a lot of help. Yes. If somebody wants to volunteer because they love pets, how they can communicate with Animal Services?
So they can call 311 and get information on that, or go to our website and go to the volunteer link where they can get information about signing up to be a volunteer. Usually you have to come for an orientation and then a short training just to teach you how to handle the pet, how to take a dog out for a walk, and how to safely handle our dogs. And then, yes, we need all the volunteers that are willing to come, because we have over 600 dogs that need to be walked daily. Wow. Hopefully more than once a day.
And feed them too, no?
Well, our staff will feed them. We really need walkers. But if you don't want to help with the dogs, our cats also need to be fed and cuddled. And we also have neonates that need to be bottle fed. So there's many things you can do here. With Animal Services, all you have to do is give your time.
So the first two segments, I was talking to the medical campus, and they were talking about the associates. I think it's a veterinary technology associate that they have, that program. And so once they're done or while they're doing their studies, can they come over here and volunteer for Animal Services?
Absolutely. We provide many spay-neuter events throughout the community, and we need as many volunteers as possible, especially with vet tech experience, to help us in those events. They can get hours. I know that they need school hours in order to finish their programs, so we'll provide those hours to them while they're getting to work in a high volume spay-neuter clinic. Not every veterinary practice is going to give them the experience of a high volume, meaning that we provide services to at least 80 dogs per day when we're doing those spay-neuter surgeries. So it's fast-paced, and they'll get a lot of experience. And then, hopefully, they'll come and work for us once they finish the program.
That would be nice. My last question will be, sometimes I've seen that there's like an event from the county and Animal Services is there for pet adoption. Yes. How often do you go outside the community besides the clinic, but this is adoption?
Yeah. So I became director in October, and that was one of my top priorities, was to really be out in the community showing them what great pets we have. We try to be out there every single weekend and then even during the week. And we're so grateful to partners like the Youth Fair, like the Miami Heat, that feature our dogs on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and if they want to know where Animal Services is going to be at, where they can find out that information?
Go to our webpage where you'll see our events calendar.
Okay. Thank you, Annette. Thank you for having me here. I'm hoping that you get more people come over here, not only for the services, but for the pet adoption.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you're interested in adopting a pet or seeking services for your animals, we invite you to visit Miami-Dade County Animal Services at their Pet Adoption and Protection Center located at 3599 Northwest 79th Avenue in the city of Doral. You can also reach them by calling 311 to schedule appointments or to report abandoned or lost pets. Y así concluimos por ahora. Quiero agradecerles por acompañarnos. Recuerden de no perderse ningún episodio de Conversando a Fondo, visitando nuestro canal en YouTube bajo la página youtube.com/MDC-TV o escaneando el código QR que aparece en pantalla.
No olviden de suscribirse para recibir notificaciones sobre nuevos episodios de este y otros programas de MDC-TV. Yo soy Tony Leal y los espero en nuestro próximo episodio de Conversando a Fondo. Hasta entonces, que tengan un excelente día.